Jai Shri Radhe. Continuing with our reading of the 252 Vaishnavas, disciples of Sri Gosaiji. So Vaishnav called Jai Shri Krishna, day 207, Varta 203. A Brahmin son, story of the son of a Brahmin, Shiva worshipper from Varanasi. Bhav Prakash. This is a devotee of Tamasi disposition. In the eternal Leela, his name is Sonajuhi, whose story has been mentioned in the Varta of Paramananda Swami. She manifests from Krishnavati and is thus a personification of her divine loving sentiment. Part 1. This was the Shaivite Brahmin's first child. When the fetus of this, her son, entered her womb, he began to repent. Why? Because when a soul enters a womb, it recalls its previous 100 births in detail. This boy remembered his previous life and became humble. He thought, I was graced to have Sri Vallabhacharyaji as my guru, and I had the direct experience of Sri Navneet Priyaji. However, I could not control my tongue's desires for tastes, and so now, due to my offences, I am now to be born in this home of people who follow another path. I shall remain as a mute, never speaking. When he was born, he did not cry, did not make a sound. Whether he was fed milk or not, it did not matter. He still remained silent. His parents were Shiva's devotees. They knew something of the scriptures according to their path. They considered, this boy wants nothing from us. He does not want even our care. With other babies, even if they are dumb, they still cry and they demand milk when they are hungry. This one does not even cry. The Brahmin constantly pondered on this state of affairs. When it was the boy's first birthday, he called his Brahmin associates together to celebrate the day by acts of worship. He was sitting with the boy in his lap. Suddenly the boy piped up with a word. He breathed out quietly and said, Shri Acharyaji Mahaprabhuji. That is all, and afterwards he kept quiet. The father's Brahmin associates said, your son spoke, and that too in Sanskrit, but we did not catch whose name it was that he called. Another year passed. The Brahmin again called his Brahmin associates to perform some worship ceremony. The boy again spoke, Shri Acharyaji Mahaprabhuji, Sri Gosaiji, just these two names. On his third birthday, he said, Shri Acharyaji Mahaprabhuji, Sri Gosaiji, Sri Nathji, just these three names. On his fourth birthday, he said four names, Sri Acharyaji, Mahaprabhuji, Sri Gosaiji, Sri Nathji, Sri Navneet Priyaji. Just four names. His father then spoke to him, O my son, you are my only child. You are the only child to have been born into my house. You are remaining dumb on purpose. Every year you say one extra word. Please now tell me what is in your mind. Whatever it is, I shall do as you say. The boy then began to write in the sand. He spoke, you must take me to Gokul, then I shall speak. The Brahmin then took his wife and child to Gokul. The boy then piped up, now you may go wherever you wish. The boy then went and sat on Thakurani Ghat on the banks of Sri Yamunaji. His parents also sat down there. Whenever a water carrier or other temple sevak, or indeed any Vaishnava came there, the boy would ask, what time in the Seva is it in Sri Navneet Priyaji's temple? Where is Sri Gosaiji at the moment? The water carrier sevaks were most astonished to see a small boy, and that too the son of a Shaivite, asking so many questions about the ways of the path of grace. Soon after, Sri Gosaiji came to Govindghat after making the Rajbhog offerings to Sri Navneet Priyaji. The Vaishnavas who were there told Sri Gosaiji all about the boy. Sri Gosaiji smiled and asked them, oh, so he has come here. The Vaishnavas told him, oh Maharaj, he is sitting on Thakurani Ghat. Sri Gosaiji asked them to bring him to him there. The Vaishnavas approached the boy, saying, oh brother, Sri Gosaiji is summoning you. The boy stood up and rushed over to have the sight of Sri Gosaiji. As he caught sight of him, his eyes began to stream with tears, and he could not control himself. Sri Gosaiji graced him and asked, oh, why are you crying? You are here and have nothing more to worry about. From now on, live carefully within the path of grace. He initiated the boy with the Lord's name. He then asked his personal attendant to bathe the boy and bring him back to him in the temple. Sri Gosaiji returned to the temple, accepted back the offerings as prasad, and then offered the Lord his pan leaf bira. Then the attendant brought the boy back after his bath, and Sri Gosaiji sat him down in front of Sri Navneet Priyaji and granted him the Brahmasambandha initiation. He then told the boy to go outside, but he held on to the handle of the temple door and would not let it go. Sri Gosaiji said, for a long time this soul has been apart from the Lord, and now he does not wish to leave here. We will let him remain in this very spot. The curtains opened and Sri Navneet Priyaji granted his holy sight to all the Vaishnavas present. Sri Gosaiji performed the arati ceremony and began to settle the Lord down for his rest. One of the temple sevaks told the boy that it was time for the seva to pause and that he should go outside, but he would not let go of that door handle. The sevak grabbed the boy's hand and made him let go, and then took him out into the courtyard. As the boy exited the temple, his life force left his body. Sri Gosaiji declared, "The temple's purity has been compromised. This young Vaishnava soul has attained Sri Thakurji's eternal Leela to avoid any blemish on the temple's purity." Sri Gosaiji transferred his own life energy into the boy's body and carried it out through the gate and to a well just outside. Then he withdrew his power from the body and left it there. His parents came there and started to cry bitterly. Sri Gosaiji addressed the Brahmin. "He was never really your son. He was a divine soul who belonged to me. Due to some offence he had been born into your house, but now he has met me." The Brahmin pondered. Indeed, this boy, from his very birth, had the vision of this joy. The Brahmin had knowledge of the scriptures, but he and his wife were not divine souls related to the Leela. If they had been, then they would never have given up this joy of the path of grace. They left and returned to Varanasi. After these events, all the Vaishnavas residing in Gokul, along with Chacha Harivamsji, got together and asked Sri Gosaiji, "O Maharaj, who was this boy in his previous birth?" Sri Gosaiji spoke. In his previous life, the boy had been a sevak of Sri Acharyaji Mahaprabhuji. He was in charge of the water seva inside Sri Navneet Priyaji's temple. Through Sri Gosaiji's grace, Sri Navneet Priyaji used to grant him his direct experience. Sri Navneet Priyaji used to sit in his lap and listen to Paramanand Dasji singing Leela Kirtans to the Lord. It was when he saw this vision that Paramananda Dasji himself was uplifted. This story appears in Paramanandji's Varta 82 in the 84 Vaishnavanki Varta. However, because the boy could not control his tongue, he fell down from his position. Chacha Harivamsji inquired, "O Maharaj, what was this offence?" Sri Gosaiji replied, "Once a group of Vaishnavas had come to Adel. It was time for the Rajbhog Aarti of Sri Navneet Priyaji. Sri Acharyaji Mahaprabhuji fed them all with Mahaprasad. When it was time for the sevaks to partake of the Mahaprasad, Sri Akkaji put a little ghee and milk on all of their plates. When the boy sat down to partake, he looked at his plate and thought, 'I carry Sri Navneet Priyaji's water on my shoulders for him to drink. Why then have I been given less prasad?' He complained to Sri Akkaji. From then on, Sri Navneet Priyaji stopped granting him his direct experience like he had before. The lad did serve Sri Navneet Priyaji until the day he died, but the Lord did not show himself to him again. When he left his body, he was reborn to this Brahmin in Varanasi. However, Sri Acharyaji has a most compassionate heart, and he did not pay too much heed to the offence. He let the boy suffer his punishment for a short while, and then again accepted him into his fold. This is Sri Acharyaji Mahaprabhuji's nature, which cannot be adequately described. Bhav Prakash. Therefore it is an embodied soul's duty to always think before they act. It also shows that if their senses are not under their control, then they can and will fall from their elevated state. Vaishnavas must be constantly vigilant. Thus concludes Varta 203, the story of the Brahmin son from Varanasi who received Sri Gosaiji's great grace and was thus an accomplished Vaishnava. There is no end to his tale. Wah kya baat hai, aaj ke anand ki jai. Sab Vaishnavan ko Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.